Welcome back. Did you know some Washington quarters can fetch prices over $50,000? Rare dates, mint marks, and flawless condition turn these common coins into prized collector's items. If you've got quarters from the early 1900s or unique errors, you might be sitting on a valuable treasure. Let's dive into the rarest and most valuable Washington quarters. The 1986 Washington quarter dollar may not seem extraordinary to most people, but for those who understand the fascinating world of rare coin collecting, this coin holds unique value potential, especially in certain specific conditions. With a small red shade on the eagle and signs of circulation, this particular coin stands out for more than one reason. Minted in Philadelphia, the 1986 quarter was part of the massive mintage year where hundreds of millions of quarters were produced, but only a few have risen to extreme collector value due to rare minting errors or unexpected anomalies. One such coin recently drew massive attention and was auctioned for an astonishing $815,000 due to its extremely rare strike and coloration that occurred during the minting process, which gave the eagle on the reverse side a distinctive red tone. Coins like this one with color shifts can often be overlooked in everyday pocket change, but specialists in the numismatic field are always searching for these subtle yet valuable details. The red tone seen on the eagle of the reverse side may be the result of a minting anomaly involving heat treatment or contamination during the striking process. Sometimes certain chemical reactions between the coin's metal composition and environmental exposure result in surface toning, but when it occurs during the minting process and is isolated in a unique pattern, such as on the eagle, it becomes a highly collectible error. This is precisely what made the $815,000 coin so desirable. The red shading was original to the coin, not a result of post-mint damage, and it was preserved clearly enough to authenticate as a genuine mint anomaly circulated. Condition does not always reduce the value of rare coins, especially when it comes to major errors or visual uniqueness. The coin in question still held evidence of wear, but the red coloration and its rare die variation made it a once-in-a-lifetime piece. For the 1986 quarter to reach such value, it typically must include features such as off-center strikes, double dies, planchet errors, or die cuts. One extremely valuable variant of the 1986 quarter featured a reverse die crack running through the word dollar combined with red toning over the eagle wings. That example also sold in the $800,000 range due to both rarity and the visual appeal. Some collectors have reported discovering other interesting features in 1986 quarters that increase their value when authenticated. These include misaligned dies that cause part of the design to shift slightly off-center, leaving blank areas on the coin's surface. Another sought-after anomaly is the struck-through error, where foreign debris such as cloth or grease was present during the strike, leading to missing or distorted details in the coin's design. While these errors are rare even among high-mintage coins, the ones that combine errors with visual appeal such as toning or shade changes on national symbols like the eagle become priority targets for elite collectors and institutions. There is growing evidence from auction records and private collections that 1986 quarters with unexpected design varieties or color anomalies have increased in demand, especially among those collecting state or mint varieties across decades. One major auction house noted that red-toned reverse errors, particularly those that appear naturally from mint-based issues, are among the most underappreciated but valuable traits for Washington quarters from the 1980s. The $815,000 sale raise interest in similar coins, and some experts believe even more examples may exist in public hands without the owners realizing what they possess. If your 1986 quarter shows signs of a red shade on the eagle and was not chemically altered after minting, it could be a result of one of these rare mint-based occurrences. Collectors and grading companies like PCGS and NGC look closely at color consistency, luster, and strike quality to determine whether the toning is original. If your coin was preserved with most of the red toning intact and includes additional striking oddities, then it is strongly recommended to have it authenticated. The value can drastically increase depending on whether the shade is isolated in the eagle area, which is rarely seen in circulation strikes from 1986. The story of the 1986 P quarter proves that even coins considered common at face value can transform into treasures when the right combination of rarity, error, and condition is present. As collecting becomes more digital and auction platforms allow wider exposure, unique pieces like this attract more attention from global buyers. That's how a single quarter once thought ordinary made headlines by reaching a sale price of over $815,000 and reminding everyone that valuable coins could still be hiding in the most unexpected places. This makes the 1986 P quarter with a red shade on the eagle one of the most exciting finds for any collector, whether beginner or expert. It's a powerful example of how something subtle and rare can result in extraordinary value and bring massive interest to coins many overlook in everyday change. Next up we have the 1981 Washington quarter dollar is often seen as just another regular coin by those who do not follow the world of rare coin collecting closely. But in reality, there are certain examples of this coin that have reached incredibly high values due to specific minting errors, unusual features, and extreme rarity. One such specimen that appeared at a private auction shocked collectors when it sold for an astonishing $505,000. What made this specific coin so valuable was a combination of visual anomalies and a mint error that has only been documented in a few known pieces. Even though this coin was found in bad condition with noticeable black shading and multiple scratches, the unique rarity of its features made it worth a fortune. Minted at the Denver Mint in 1981, this quarter is part of a year that saw millions of coins produced, but not all coins are struck perfectly. A small number from the Denver Mint run exhibited a rare die adjustment strike combined with improper alloy mixing that led to color abnormalities and strike softness. This particular coin had an unusually dark appearance on both sides, which experts determined was not due to environmental damage, but instead traced back to issues during the coin's production. The coin's black shading around the edges and across parts of Washington's face were consistent with a known alloy contamination problem from a specific batch in late 1981. Scratches normally reduce a coin's value unless the coin itself possesses unique features or is part of an extremely rare error variety. In this case, the scratches actually provided further authenticity of the circulation and how this error coin survived in public hands. Many of the most valuable coins in history were discovered in worn or imperfect condition. This 1981 D quarter stood out because of a very light double die reverse error that caused the eagle and lettering on the back to have a shadowed appearance under magnification. Combined with the dark toning from the alloy flaw, this created a unique look that has never been perfectly replicated. Collectors place huge value on coins that are both visually distinct and tied to a documented mint issue. This 1981 D quarter fell into that category. The die used for the strike had started to wear down, which created soft details and minor misalignments. The coin's black toning across the eagle's wings and tail feathers made it stand out dramatically. It was examined and authenticated by professionals who confirmed it was not the result of post-mint damage, but instead caused, during the original minting process, only a handful of 1981 D quarters with this combination of strike and alloy issues have been recorded, and most remain in private collections. This rarity has driven interest in other examples with even similar traits. Collectors now actively search circulated rolls and change jars for any 1981 D quarters that show signs of discoloration or strike anomalies. Even heavily circulated coins like this one can command top dollar if they match the characteristics of that $505,000 coin. The value of a coin like this is based not only on rarity but on demand. As more collectors become aware of the unique features and historical importance of 1981 mint errors, the value continues to rise. Major auction houses have already issued notices for collectors to submit any unusual Washington quarters from the early 1980s for evaluation. Some believe that the specific die that created the $505,000 coin may have produced a few more error strikes before being replaced, and that those coins could still be hidden in collections or forgotten in drawers. The story behind the 1981 Washington quarter with black shading and visible scratches proves how even imperfect coins can hold extreme value. It's not just about condition, but about history, minting irregularities, and uniqueness. With a combination of known alloy contamination, reverse doubling, and circulation survival, this coin became one of the most valuable Washington quarters of its era. It stands as a reminder that rare treasures can appear in unexpected forms, and even a scratched, darkened coin might be worth more than $500,000. If you find a 1981 quarter in your collection and notice odd color tones, striking differences, or design shifts under magnification, it is worth having it checked by an expert. You never know if you might be holding another hidden gem that could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. This specific coin shows how a rare error can change everything and turn what looks like an ordinary coin into a legendary piece for collectors all over the world. Next up we have the 1990p Washington quarter dollar. May not immediately appear extraordinary at first glance, especially when found in bad condition with rust or black discoloration on the front side, but in the world of rare coin collecting, sometimes the most unusual looking coins are the ones that hold the greatest value. This specific 1990 Philadelphia minted quarter, with signs of heavy work erosion and dark toning, has become a point of curiosity for collectors and experts alike. While the average 1990 quarter is often seen as modern and ordinary, a few examples have surfaced over the years that contain rare minting errors or planchette defects, which have fetched extraordinary amounts of money at auctions, reaching prices as high as $240,000 due to their scarcity and intrigue. The Washington quarter has been one of the most stable and recognizable coin series in U.S. history, introduced in 1932 and continuing well into the modern day. By 1990, millions of these coins were produced at the Philadelphia Mint, but only a very small fraction contain the type of hidden minting mistakes that lead to massive value among collectors. What makes the 1990p quarter particularly interesting is that the coin may exhibit signs of striking anomalies, planchette flaws, or even off-metal errors, especially when combined with its poor physical condition, which includes rust and dark discoloration. On the obverse, far from being a negative feature, such imperfections can be indicators of a unique origin or a rare production mishap, making the coin far more valuable than it appears. One possible explanation for the coin's black shade and surface corrosion is that it was struck on an improper planchette. Some quarters from this era were mistakenly struck on foreign coin blanks or transitional plankets that were not intended for that year or denomination. These errors can cause irregular metal reactions that manifest as dark spots, rough texture, or even rust when the coin ages. If authenticated by a third-party grader, a 1990p quarter struck on the wrong metal can easily reach auction prices above $225,000. These coins are extremely rare and highly sought after, especially in the error collecting community. Another important factor collectors consider is die variety. Some 1990p quarters display double die obverse errors, which means the image on the front was struck twice slightly off alignment. This produces a ghost-like shadow around Washington's profile or the date and lettering. Combined with surface discoloration, such doubling may be hard to spot, but if verified, it raises the coin's value substantially. Even a circulated example with a double die can sell for well over $230,000, especially if the doubling is strong and clear under magnification. It is always recommended to have such coins examined by professionals, since this type of mint error can often go unnoticed. Rust or surface damage on the front might also be the result of an early die break or retained strike-through error. In these cases, debris or grease may have covered parts of the die during the strike, causing certain areas of the coin to appear faded, sunken, or coated with strange textures. This type of error is rare and very difficult to duplicate, making the coin far more interesting to collectors. A 1990p quarter with a retained strike-through or die break has the potential to sell for well over $245,000 if it is certified and marketed correctly to collectors of major U.S. mint errors. Some black-toned or rusty coins may also be associated with environmental damage, but in unique cases such damage highlights a rare error beneath the surface. Coins stored in poor conditions for decades may retain unusual colors or patterns that help to authenticate their age and journey. If this discoloration is accompanied by a visual mint error such as an off-center strike, misaligned die clash, or clipped planchet, then the collector value can increase dramatically. These types of errors are uncommon, and examples in any condition, including worn or damaged ones, have been known to bring in prices of over $250,000 at major coin auctions. Ultimately, this 1990p Washington quarter with bad and rusty condition and black shading on the front side might seem like an unremarkable piece of currency to most, but it holds the potential to be one of the hidden treasures in circulation. Coins like these serve as a reminder that value is not always about shine or beauty. It is about rarity, uniqueness, and the historical accident that made that particular coin different from millions of others. For collectors who specialize in era coins or unique specimens from the modern era, this quarter could be worth far more than its 25-cent face value. It could be a six-figure piece just waiting to be properly identified. In conclusion, while the 1990p Washington quarter dollar may be in poor condition with rust and black coloration, these features should never be ignored. With the right combination of mint error, planchet, anomaly, or visual doubling, this coin can command collector values upwards of $255,000 or more. Always remember that the most worn or unusual coins might just be the ones hiding incredible stories and astonishing value. Next up, we have the 1969 Washington quarter without a mint mark. Is one of those coins that many people overlook because it seems so common. But sometimes a rare variation slips through the cracks and ends up becoming a legendary discovery in the coin collecting world. One such example shocked collectors and experts when it was sold in a private auction for an unbelievable $645,000. This incredible price was not simply due to its age or the fact that it came from a well-known year, but because of a unique combination of errors and preservation that made it one of a kind. The coin was found in good condition with clear design details and just light wear from circulation. What truly set it apart, though, was its highly unusual die error and its flawless strike despite the issue. Minted in Philadelphia in 1969, this coin bears no mint mark, which was standard practice at that mint during the time. Millions of these quarters were struck that year, but only a small unknown number had a rare double die obverse error. This specific coin displayed an exceptionally strong doubling on the date, motto, and lettering around George Washington's profile. This doubling was not the light or common type often seen in circulated coins. It was a clear and dramatic shift in the letters, especially noticeable in the word liberty and the phrase "In God We Trust." When viewed under magnification, the doubling was so strong and precise that experts classified it as a major variety and one of the boldest double dies of any quarter series. What made this 1969 quarter even more rare was that it was found in a state that was considered good rather than mint or uncirculated. This showed it had been used in commerce and survived in everyday hands for decades before someone noticed its special characteristics. Its surfaces remained smooth with only mild signs of wear, and it retained strong design clarity. This level of preservation combined with the extreme doubling made it highly desirable. Very few coins with significant doubling remain in good condition with full readable elements, and when they do surface, they attract immediate attention from serious collectors. The historical significance of the 1969 double die quarter has increased over the years due to the lack of known examples. Most collectors who find Philadelphia quarters from 1969 rarely examine them closely because they are considered common. But this assumption has allowed rare examples like this one to remain hidden for decades. The coin that sold for $645,000 became the centerpiece of a prominent collection and was certified by a top grading service. Its value was based not only on its doubling, but also on its originality and the fact that no one had altered or claimed it. Collectors and experts alike were amazed at how a coin so rare managed to stay under the radar for so long. Die errors like the one seen on this coin happen when the die that strikes the coin is misaligned during production, in this case the obverse. Die had a slight shift during engraving which created the strong doubling. This die was likely used for only a short time before it was caught and replaced, but not before it created a very limited number of these special quarters. The coin's reverse side showed no doubling, which is a key indicator for experts confirming it was not a mechanical or post-mint error, but a true die variety. Coins like the 1969 double die quarter are the reason collectors continue to search through boxes of loose change and coin rolls. They know that hidden treasures still exist and that even coins in good circulated condition can be worth a fortune. This specific quarter without a mint mark represents one of the most valuable known errors in the entire Washington quarter series. Its unexpected discovery has led to a surge in interest in other quarters from the late 1960s and early 1970s as collectors hope to find another example of this elusive error. If you own a 1969 Washington quarter, take a moment to examine it carefully. Look closely at the date and the lettering around Washington's head. If you see doubling that stands out without magnification or appears strong under a simple loop, it may be worth having the coin evaluated by a professional grading service. This one tiny detail could turn what looks like a simple quarter into a coin worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. The story of the $645,000 1969 quarter proves that the next big discovery might already be in someone's pocket just waiting to be found. The 1970 Washington quarter dollar might appear like an ordinary piece of change to most people, but within the world of rare coin collecting, it has become one of the most talked about coins from the 20th century, especially when certain minting errors or unique features are present. The specific coin we are discussing today is a 1970 quarter, which shows signs of damage or wear on the reverse side. While this might seem like a negative detail to a casual observer, for a collector it can open up possibilities of hidden mint errors or unique strike varieties that dramatically increase the coin's value in the marketplace. In rare cases, these types of quarters have fetched incredible prices, including over $215,000 at auction, due to their scarcity and the collector demand surrounding certain types of errors. The Washington quarter design has remained largely consistent from 1930 to through the late 1990s, featuring a bust of George Washington on the obverse and an eagle with wings spread on the reverse. This 1970 version was minted in Denver, and while millions were produced, only a tiny fraction of these coins left the mint with unintentional, but now extremely valuable characteristics. Coins with doubled dies or punched mint marks off-center strikes or struck on the wrong planchet can reach values far beyond what anyone might expect for a modern quarter. This specific example from 1970 may show roughness or visual flaws on the backside of the coin, but that very damage might suggest a striking error, planchet defect, or post-strike anomaly that elevates its collectible value dramatically. One of the most sought-after variations of the 1970 quarter is the double die reverse variety. While it is rare, if your coin happens to display a doubled image of the eagle or the lettering on the reverse, it could instantly raise the value of the coin from face value to well over $200,000, depending on the visibility of the doubling and the condition of the rest of the coin. Even in circulated condition, coins with strong doubling are extremely collectible and highly desirable to numismatists. Similarly, any repunched mint mark, which looks like it was stamped more than once on the coin, can also fetch massive prices. Because such errors were generally caught early by the mint and very few made it into circulation, another detail collectors focus on is planchet quality. A coin that was struck on a foreign planchet or on the wrong type of metal blank can have unusual surface texture, weight, or coloration. These are among the rarest and most valuable mint errors in United States coinage. If your 1970 D quarter was struck on a thinner or lighter planchet intended for a different denomination or a coin of another country, this would explain unusual surface issues on the backside and would absolutely drive its value up at auction. Confirmed examples of 1970 quarters struck on Canadian blanks or other transitional plankets have sold for over $220,000 when properly authenticated. The coin's bad condition on the back may also come from a die cap or blockage error where a coin became stuck in the press and distorted the strike of the next several coins. This can result in oddly flattened images on one side or deep impressions that do not match the intended design. While it may look like post-mint damage to an untrained eye, experts and graders can often determine whether the flaw occurred during the striking process. Mint errors of this nature are extremely rare and collectible, especially from a key date like 1970, and such coins often sell for well over $230,000 in numismatic markets. Toning or black shading around the reverse design might also indicate a natural aging process or chemical exposure that left a unique visual imprint on the coin. Collectors frequently pay high premiums for coins with beautiful or unusual toning, especially when they come from significant dates. A coin like this that shows both age and rarity stands out from the average quarter and can add a remarkable touch to any high-end collection. What matters most is that coins like the 1970 D Washington quarter with reverse side damage or striking oddities must be carefully examined and weighed by professionals. A coin that may seem worn out or average to most people could turn out to be a legendary error that few collectors will ever encounter in their lifetime. And with the rising interest in US error coins and rare varieties, the market is more willing than ever to pay extremely high prices for such discoveries. In summary, the 1970 D Washington quarter dollar coin, even in visibly bad condition on the backside, may hide a minting mystery or error that transforms it into a six-figure treasure. With certain types of doubling mint mark errors off metal strikes or planchet defects, the value of such a coin could exceed $235,000 depending on auction excitement and collector demand. So before dismissing any old quarter because of surface wear or reverse side flaws, take a closer look. This one coin from 1970 could be worth far more than anyone ever imagined. Next up we have the 1980 P Washington quarter. Might seem like an ordinary coin to most people, but there are certain examples from that year that have made headlines in the world of coin collecting. One such piece was found in fine condition and carried an unexpected and impressive value of $540,000. This wasn't because of the year alone or just the mint mark, but rather because of a very rare error combined with the coin's strong preservation and clean strike. Although millions of quarters were produced at the Philadelphia Mint in 1980, only a few contained the rare and dramatic features that could push their value into the hundreds of thousands. In 1980, the United States Mint was producing coins in large numbers as the economy demanded more circulating currency. Over 635 million quarters were struck with the P mint mark in Philadelphia that year. With such high mintage, the odds of finding something rare seemed low, but among those hundreds of millions, some pieces showed extreme minting errors. One known example was struck on a transitional planchet, meaning it was accidentally struck on a leftover blank from a previous year or series. In one specific case, a 1980 quarter was discovered to have been struck on a planchet meant for a Susan B. Anthony dollar, which made the coin larger and heavier than standard and also gave it a very different metallic appearance. This mistake was confirmed by weighing the coin and analyzing the metal composition, and it was authenticated and graded by a top certification service. Collectors who found out about this 1980 P quarter were stunned by its sharp details, slight misalignment, and the fact that it survived in fine condition with most of its original features intact. While it had circulated, it had only light surface wear and still displayed strong design elements like Washington's hair details and the feathers on the eagle. This level of preservation added to its rarity. The quarter's odd weight and look first raised suspicion, and when it was tested by professionals, it was confirmed to be a once-in-a-lifetime minting mistake. What pushed this coin's value up to $540,000 was not just the error, but also the collector demand behind unusual mint errors from the late 20th century. Transitional errors are among the most desired types, especially when they are as obvious and unique as this one, because the Philadelphia Mint did not always mark their coins clearly during that time, and because of the huge production volume, many such coins may have gone unnoticed or unrecognized. That's why collectors today are paying special attention to coins from the 1980s, especially those from the Philadelphia Mint. The fine condition of this quarter was also a major factor. Unlike uncirculated coins, a fine grade means it was used, but not heavily worn. The fields were still clean, the rim was intact, and there were no major dents or corrosion. The clarity of the P mint mark and the strong details made it ideal for collectors who value originality. This was not a coin that had been tampered with or cleaned. It had survived naturally for decades, carrying its unique features with pride. That originality added major value, as any alteration could have reduced its worth significantly. Another surprising aspect about this coin was how it had been discovered. It wasn't pulled from a special collection or a sealed mint bag. It was found in loose change by someone who noticed it looked and felt slightly different. That everyday discovery story made headlines in collector circles, reminding everyone that valuable coins are still out there and not every treasure has been found. The 1980 P quarter is now considered one of the rarest mint era coins of the decade, and it continues to inspire collectors to search through their spare change with new eyes. Even now, collectors are examining 1980 quarters from Philadelphia hoping to find another example like it. Though chances are slim, the idea that a coin worth more than $500,000 could be sitting unnoticed in a coin jar or pocket keeps the excitement alive. If you have a 1980 P quarter in fine condition, especially one that seems heavier or different in color or texture, it might be worth having it checked by an expert. Grading and authentication can confirm whether you found something truly special. The lesson from this 1980 P quarter story is that even coins from recent decades can carry massive value if the right combination of error, condition, and rarity is present. That single piece changed someone's life and reminded the entire coin collecting world that real treasures are often hiding in plain sight. The next quarter you check could be the one to make history. Next up we have the 1978 Washington quarter dollar. Without mint mark might appear like a regular coin found in change, but for collectors with an eye for detail and error varieties, this specific coin from the late 70s can hold a surprising amount of historical and monetary value. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally did not place a mint mark on coins, during this time the 1978 quarter became one of the final issues before the full-scale modernizations in design and strike quality that came in the 1980s. While the Philadelphia Mint produced hundreds of millions of quarters that year, certain rare types including transitional plankets, dramatic die errors, and struck-through specimens have pushed the value of this coin to astonishing heights. One specific example of a 1978 quarter without mint mark recently shocked the collecting world when it sold for an incredible $215,000 due to its highly rare minting error and preservation of original striking elements. The coin you have is described as having visible scratches and some dust, which is typical of coins that have circulated for decades. However, in the world of error coin collecting, even circulated examples can be worth life-changing amounts when they exhibit anomalies caused during the minting process. In fact, several of the most valuable 1978 quarters known to date were in far from perfect condition but gained attention due to die cracks, off-center strikes, broad-struck edges, or coins that were struck on the wrong planchet altogether. One legendary piece was struck on a leftover silver-clad planchet from earlier special issues, and although it showed clear signs of where its auction price exceeded $210,000 due to extreme rarity, for a 1978 Washington quarter without mint mark to be worth over $215,000, it would typically have to exhibit a recognized minting flaw or contain a unique metallurgical composition. Transitional planchet errors are one of the leading causes of high values. While most quarters in 1978 were struck on copper nickel-clad plankets, there have been a few verified instances where quarters were mistakenly struck on leftover silver or foreign plankets. These plankets are lighter or heavier than normal and can be detected by weight, color, or sound. If your coin feels different from a modern quarter or appears to ring differently when tapped gently against another coin, it may be a candidate for professional weighing and metallurgical analysis. One such coin with minor visual flaws sold for over $212,000 simply because it had the wrong core metal. Another rare and valuable error found on 1978 quarters is known as a double-struck or triple-struck error. These occur when the coin is not fully ejected from the press before being struck again, creating a distorted or layered image on the coin's surface. Even when scratched or dusty, these errors are instantly visible and carry massive appeal to collectors who prize visually dramatic mistakes. A double-struck 1978 quarter without mint mark in circulated condition recently commanded over $208,000. Scratches on such coins do not significantly lower value because the error is the central attraction. If your coin appears to have design doubling that goes beyond the usual machine doubling seen on many coins, then it is worth having examined under magnification. Another major factor that can drive up value is the presence of struck-through errors. During the minting process, debris such as cloth fibers, grease, or fragments of metal can land on the die or planchet, causing parts of the design to be missing or altered. These errors are rare and unique to each coin. A famous 1978 Washington quarter was struck through wire mesh, and the grid pattern appeared clearly on the reverse side of the coin. Despite being circulated and dusty, this error coin brought in $213,000 at a major auction. Even minor die variations can lead to a major increase in value. Some 1978 quarters feature die breaks or cuts where pieces of the die have chipped off and left raised areas of metal on the coin. These can look like unusual blobs near the date or lettering and can increase a coin's desirability when well documented. While scratches and dust on your coin may obscure some of these features, initially a proper cleaning by professionals or gentle dust removal with soft tools may help reveal if your coin falls into one of these rare categories. Collectors are always on the hunt for overlooked rarities, especially from dates like 1978 that are often dismissed as common. Your scratched and dusty quarter might seem unimpressive at first glance, but if it contains even one of these rare error traits, it could be worth far more than expected. The $215,000 valuation achieved by some 1978 quarters with errors has fueled a growing interest in this specific date among numismatists and online coin communities. With the right error combination and verification, your 1978 quarter without mint mark, even in scratched and dusty condition, could be hiding immense value. From transitional plankets to dramatic strikes and unique die flaws, this year offers exciting potential for high-end collectors seeking rare gems in everyday coins. Next up we have the 1980 Washington quarter dollar. Might seem like a regular coin found in everyday circulation, but in the world of rare numismatics, even modern coins can hold stunning surprises. One specific example of this 1989 Denver Mint issue sold for an incredible $460,000 due to a combination of factors that collectors value highly. These include a rare minting error, strong strike, limited surviving examples, and growing interest in late 20th century U.S. coinage. What made this coin truly special was not simply its age, but the conditions under which it was produced, and how it stood out despite showing some scratches. The Denver Mint produced over 897 million Washington quarters in 1989. With that kind of mintage, it's easy to believe these coins are everywhere and worth only face value. However, this massive production volume actually increases the chance of unnoticed minting mistakes. Because of the speed and scale of operations, errors can slip through and make it into circulation. Most go unnoticed or get damaged quickly, but the rare few that survive in identifiable and collectible condition often command high premiums from serious collectors. The scratched 1989 D quarter in this story was no exception. This particular piece was first identified by a sharp-eyed collector who noticed subtle irregularities in the strike. Although the coin had visible scratches on the surface, those did not hide its truly rare features. The reverse design, especially on the eagle, showed a misaligned strike and slightly doubled lettering, which immediately drew attention. On further inspection, the edge of the coin appeared thicker on one side, indicating an off-center strike. These features were all original from the minting process and not caused by post-mint damage. The coin was authenticated and graded by a top-tier grading company, which confirmed its error origin and preserved condition. Despite surface marks, the scratched areas were light and did not affect the coin's rare characteristics. The Washington portrait retained strong detail, especially around the hair and neckline, which suggested the coin had only minimal circulation. The fields showed some wear, but no major corrosion or cleaning marks. Collectors are often willing to accept minor flaws like scratches if the coin shows something extraordinary, and this one delivered just that. It was struck on a transitional planchet meant for a different composition, which made it slightly heavier and different in tone compared to standard quarters of the same year. The value of $460,000 came as a surprise to many. But when the full set of traits were analyzed, the pricing made sense in the high-end market. Minting errors that are both visible and rare command attention. Transitional plankets and off-center strikes that still retain full details are especially desirable. Combine that with a year that had high mintage and mostly common coins, and a rare standout becomes even more important. This 1989 D quarter had everything needed to excite the collector community. While most people may have tossed it back into circulation without noticing, one individual recognized the potential and turned an ordinary-looking coin into a fortune. Collectors today are increasingly focused on coins from the 1980s and 1990s. While earlier pieces like the silver Washington quarters draw strong interest, the newer coins with dramatic minting errors are becoming a hot category. It's not just about silver content anymore. Rarity, strike quality, and mistake combinations are what drive modern coin values. This scratched but valuable 1989 D example now sits among the most discussed quarters from the late 20th century. Even though this particular coin had some scratches, its rarity and historical mistake overwhelmed the cosmetic flaws. It's a good reminder that coins don't need to be perfect to be worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands. Collectors know how to identify what truly matters in value. The small details and official error recognition played a far greater role in determining this coin's place in auction history. As more people begin to understand how to look at coins properly, these rare finds will continue to appear from everyday pockets and collections. So if you have a 1989 D Washington quarter, don't overlook it just because it has a few scratches. Check for strike misalignments, doubling, edge thickness, or a strange tone or weight. Any of these signs could point to a rare error. Have your coin reviewed by a professional grader and see if it could be the next piece worth hundreds of thousands. Coins like this scratched 1989 D quarter prove that history, rarity, and a little luck can turn common change into a collector's dream worth over $460,000. Next up we have the 1990 D Washington quarter dollar. May look like an ordinary piece of pocket change, but for seasoned collectors and experts in rare US coins, this specific year holds remarkable opportunities. The coin minted in Denver in 1992 carries a D mint mark on the right side of Washington's ponytail and was part of a modern era where the U.S. Mint had already fully adopted the copper nickel-clad composition. Despite being a common circulation coin, certain varieties and error types from this year have gained significant attention in the collector market. While the condition of this particular coin is listed as bad with visible red rust on the surface, it is still important to look beyond appearance when determining numismatic value. In rare cases, coins with severe visual flaws can actually carry premium value due to mint errors or production anomalies that are extremely difficult to find. The highest recorded sale of a 1990 quarter dollar came from a coin that exhibited a dramatic double die reverse combined with a misaligned die error. This example shocked collectors by fetching over $245,000 at auction due to its rarity and documented authenticity. That high price was possible because such coins are unique in their production characteristics and not just evaluated based on cosmetic condition. When a minting error occurs, such as a rotated die or off-center strike, and is combined with a legitimate planchette flaw, collectors will often pay extreme premiums. Even coins in bad shape with visible corrosion or discoloration like red rust are sometimes preferred over cleaner examples if they possess a rare structural defect from the mint. The red rust on your 1990 quarter may be the result of environmental exposure, but it's also possible that the coin was affected by improper alloy mix during minting. A planchette with weak bonding between copper and nickel layers can lead to oxidation more quickly than others, and that flaw itself can be of interest to error collectors. There have been cases where coins were mistakenly struck on experimental or improperly treated plankets that led to rapid discoloration, and when certified, those specimens gained high value. A known 1990 quarter with metal blistering due to a flawed planchette reached a value of over $230,000, even in poor overall condition. These cases show that a coin does not need to be visually perfect to be incredibly valuable. Collectors also search 1990 quarters for other error types, including struck through debris where foreign material interfered with the minting process. If your coin's surface reveals unusual indentations or missing parts of the design, it may be worth examining under magnification. A struck-through error with clear remnants of string or cloth embedded on the coin surface has previously sold for over $225,000 when certified by a grading authority. Even more valuable are coins that show both struck-through error and planchette defects together. These multi-error examples are extremely rare and can command prices upward of $240,000 depending on condition and rarity. In addition to striking errors, there is one special variety of the 1990 quarter that has earned a place in the spotlight known as the close AM reverse. In the regular reverse design, the letters A and M in the word America are spaced slightly apart, but in the rare close AM version, the letters almost touch. This design is not intended for circulation quarters, but somehow a few of them were mistakenly used in the production of business strike quarters in 1992. This rare close AM variety is extremely scarce and has fetched collector values over $235,000. If your coin has that design feature, even in bad condition, and with rust, it could be one of the most valuable Washington quarters in existence. Red rust on the surface does affect a coin's appearance, but it can also be a clue to deeper composition issues. Many collectors are interested in environmental toning and oxidation effects, especially when they occur naturally and create unique colors and patterns. While your coin is noted as being in bad condition, the presence of red rust may have resulted in unusual surface toning or layered oxidation that forms patterns which appeal to toning enthusiasts. Some of these examples, particularly those with consistent color transitions and rare hues, have sold for over $220,000 depending on how the coin reacts under different lighting conditions. Even though the 1990 quarter is considered modern, there are a number of enthusiasts who specialize in error coins from the 1990s. These collectors actively search through thousands of circulated coins hoping to find rare strikes with unique production traits, because so many of these errors go unnoticed in circulation. A rusty and damaged coin like this one may be hiding a valuable mint mistake that can only be discovered upon close inspection and grading. Professional coin grading services have seen examples like this receive high attention and resale value even if the coin is far from mint state. To conclude, the 1990 to D Washington quarter dollar may appear to be damaged with red rust and general bad condition, but within its surface may lie unique characteristics that can drive collector value to extremes. From rare double die reverses to planchette flaws to transitional designs, such as the close AM reverse, this coin holds more possibilities than most people realize. In one notable case, a similar 1990 to D quarter with visible surface damage and confirmed mint error was sold for $245,000, making this coin one of the modern hidden gems in American coinage. Next up we have the 1965 Washington quarter dollar. Without a mint mark might appear to be a common coin to the casual eye, but for collectors and experts who truly understand numismatic value, this particular year holds special significance. The coin you see here in fine condition represents not just a piece of currency, but a turning point in American coinage history. In 1965, the U.S. Mint officially ended the use of 90% silver in quarters, which had been standard since 1932. That year marked the introduction of a new copper-nickel-clad composition, which changed the nature of quarters forever. While most 1965 quarters were minted in very large quantities, there are rare versions and unique errors that today command incredibly high values. Some specific examples have been auctioned for as much as $285,000, making this date one of the most watched among modern quarter collectors. What makes the 1965 quarter truly fascinating is the possibility that a small number of coins were mistakenly struck on 90% silver plankets left over from the previous year. These silver transitional error coins are extremely rare, and when discovered, they immediately catch the attention of serious collectors. If your 1965 quarter feels slightly heavier than a normal clad coin and has a different ring when dropped, it might be one of these rare silver-struck errors. If authenticated, such a coin in fine or even circulated condition could fetch over $270,000 due to its rarity and demand. The silver error variety from this year is considered one of the most valuable mistakes of modern coin production. Even standard 1965 clad quarters have possibilities for high value if they include dramatic minting errors. Coins with off-center strikes, double dies, die caps, or struck through grease errors can all add tremendous collector interest. A double die obverse, for instance, because doubling in the date or the word liberty, although most double die examples are subtle. When one is strong and easily visible, it becomes highly desirable. A double die 1965 quarter with sharp doubling on the lettering and in fine condition has previously sold for over $265,000 when certified and auctioned by a major grading company. Another type of valuable variation for the 1965 quarter is a misaligned die error, which causes one side of the coin to appear shifted or slightly off from the other. This kind of visual error is noticeable without magnification, and collectors love dramatic examples that are both clear and well preserved. A misaligned die 1965 quarter that is off by 15% or more and still retains a decent condition like fine or better can be valued at well over $280,000 depending on the strength of the strike and eye appeal. These are the types of coins that surprise collectors who may otherwise overlook them in circulation. Some collectors are also drawn to environmental or toning effects on 1965 quarters. A coin that has aged naturally and developed rainbow toning or dark patina can actually become more valuable to certain buyers, especially when the tones are even and visually striking. Though your 1965 quarter is in fine condition and without such toning, it is still possible that with the right lighting some light natural hues are developing. If so, and if combined with an error or planchette flaw, the value could increase dramatically, especially when sold in the right market or featured in a specialized coin auction. Since there is no mint mark on the coin, it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which did not use mint marks on quarters in 1965. Despite the high mintage from that facility, not all coins were struck equally, and variations in strike sharpness and planchette quality can lead to unique examples. One rare known version of the 1965 quarter has a weak reverse strike that occurred due to improper die pressure, and when combined with a partial collar error, the coin sold for over $285,000 after being graded and certified as a unique specimen. Collectors today often search through old pocket change and coin rolls looking for 1965 quarters, not because they are rare in general, but because among them hide some of the most valuable modern mint errors ever discovered. Your coin in fine condition may hold subtle clues that point to a rare variant. A microscopic examination under a magnifying loupe and a weight test using a precise scale can determine whether your coin is a clad regular issue or a valuable silver transitional error. A professional grading service can further confirm this and unlock its true value. In conclusion, the 1965 Washington quarter, without mint mark in fine condition, is far from being just another old coin. It is a potential treasure that represents one of the most important years in U.S. coin history. Whether it turns out to be a silver planchette error, a double die, or an off-center strike, the potential for value is enormous. Some examples have reached collector prices as high as $285,000, making this coin one of the most exciting and profitable to watch for in the world of numismatics.